Hello children, welcome back to the new video of English grammar class. Today we will learn lesson 12 conjunctions. Before we go in detail about conjunction, first let us try to learn the new terms and meanings of a few words so that you will understand when we discuss the topic. Here are the few contents, or you can say the few topics that we are going to discuss today. Number 1, important word meaning. 2, what is a conjunction? 3, types or kinds of conjunctions. And 4, conjunctions punctuation rules. Here we have the important word meaning. Okay. These are the new terms for you. So let us try to understand and learn these few word meaning. Number 1, phrases. Group of words that work together to make meaning. There is no subject-verb combination. See, when you read these words, this group of words, see here in the example, there is no combination of subject and verb, okay? This type of group of words, we call it a phrase or phrases, all right? Next, clause. What is a clause? A group of words that has both subject and verb combination. Let's see the example. Ram won the car race. So Ram here is the subject, won is the verb. So this type of simple sentence which has meaning of its own, we call it a clause, all right? 2, coordination means combining two words or sentences of same kind or equal rank, okay? Or you can say equal nature. Example here, I was alone and sad. So we are combining two words, alone and sad, with the conjunction and. And subordinating means combining two sentences of two different kinds. We are going to combine two sentences, okay? Two sentences of different kind or unequal nature or types, okay? For example, here, I want to go to school. See, I want to go to school is one type of sentence, and if it rains is another type of sentence. So we use conjunction if to combine these two different sentences and make it a complete sentence, okay? I want to go to school if it rains. Number 3, main clause. Main clause. If a group of words containing subject and a verb makes sense, okay? We call it main clause or independent clause. Main clause are simple sentence. See here, example, wait for me. See, it has a meaning. This sentence has a meaning, okay? It is a group of words which contains both subject and the verb, all right? This sentence makes sense, right? Yes. Wait for me means you are telling someone to wait for you. This type of group of words that makes sense, we call it a what? Main clause or independent clause. Next, subordinate clause. Many sentences containing clause make no sense by themselves are called subordinate clause or dependent clause. Here, let's see the example. When the rain stops. See, when the rain stops, what will happen after the rain stops? We don't know. Whether you are going to your uncle's house or you are going somewhere or you'll be doing something else. So we don't know. This type of incomplete sentence, or you can say this types of sentence which make no sense by themselves, we call it a what? Subordinate clause or dependent clause, okay? Now we move on to the meaning of conjunction or the definition of conjunction. What is a conjunction? A conjunction is a word that joins words, group of words that is phrases or sentences, also called clauses. Okay, it can also be defined as a word that joins clauses together to make a sentence and shows how the meanings of the clauses related to each other. A conjunction is also called a joiner. Remember this, connective or sentences linker. Okay, examples. When you go to Agartala, you must try biryani and fish. So here we are connecting or joining two words. What? Biryani and fish. So the word and is a conjunction that's joined two words, all right? Next we have number 2. My book is either on the table or in the drawer. So it is a phrase. Okay, here one phrase on the table and another is in the drawer. So we use conjunction or to connect or to join these two phrases. All right. And number 3, Rosie went to see her teacher, but she was not in her office. What type of sentence is this? See, it is a clause, all right? We call clauses. See, why we call it a clauses? Because, see, this sentence are of two types. See, Rosie went to see her teacher. One sentence, she was not in her office. Another sentence. Both these sentence has meaning of their own and it is a complete sentence. Here, see. But in order to connect or join these two sentences, we use conjunction but to make a complete meaningful sentence. Okay. Now we have the types or kinds of conjunctions. Conjunctions are of three major types. Number 1, we have coordinating conjunctions. What is coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating means what? Combining two words or sentences of the same kind. Okay. Coordinating conjunctions joins single words or group of words, but they always join elements of same kind. Means they always join words of the same type. Okay, either subject and subject, or verb phrase and verb phrase, or sentence and sentence. The most commonly used words are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Remember this, fanboys. If you remember this acronym fanboys, you'll remember all these conjunctions, all right? Example, he bought a book and a pen. So we are joining two words of the same kind. See, a book, a pen, we are joining them by using the word what? Coordinating conjunction and. Number 2, subordinate conjunctions. Meaning of subordinate. Subordinate means combining two sentences. What are those? Clause, main clause and the what? Subordinate clause. Okay. It is the largest class of conjunction, means subordinate conjunction has many conjunctions, okay, varieties of conjunctions that connect subordinate clauses to a main clause, means that joins subordinate clause, means incomplete words or incomplete sentences to a complete sentence, or I mean you can say that has complete meaning. Okay, a subordinating conjunction comes at the beginning of a subordinate clause and establishes a relationship between the dependent clause and the rest of the sentence. Some commonly used words are after, although, because, if, as long as, before, even if, so that, then, that, till, unless, until, etc. Here, I've given one example. All the shops were closed because it was late. See here, All the shops were closed. It has a meaning, right? It is a group of words that, that makes meaningful sentences. See, all the shops were closed. This is the main clause. Okay, we call this type of sentence which makes complete sense or meaningful sentence. We call it what? Main clause. It was late. It was late. This type of words which has no meaning. It was late. We call it a subordinate clause. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Only it was late. We don't know what is late. So this type of sentence, we call it what? Subordinate clause. So here, subordinate conjunctions, because it's used in order to connect or joins these clauses. Okay, and it makes a meaningful sentence. All the shops were closed because it was late. Number 3, we have correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunction means what? Pair of joining words. Okay, there are pair words that we cannot separate them. Let's see what are they. Correlative conjunctions also connects sentence element of the same kind. Okay, it also connect elements, means words of the same kind. However, unlike coordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunctions are always used in pairs, means this type of conjunctions are always used together. They cannot be separated. Like such conjunctions are either or. See, either or is used together. Neither nor are also used together. Both and, whether or, not only but also. Okay. Examples. Example, she likes neither tea nor coffee. Can you see we use one pair of conjunction here? Neither nor. See, we use neither nor. She likes neither tea nor coffee, means she dislikes both tea and coffee. All right. The last topic we have conjunction punctuation rules. Number 1. Let's see how do we use punctuation when it comes to conjunction. Okay, when we write sentences. Let's see. Only 2 words or phrases. When we use only 2 words or phrases, we don't use comma, no comma. Okay, example here. Mary garden is beautiful and precious. Can you see we use beautiful and precious 2 words? We don't use comma when we use only 2 words. Okay, see. Next, more than 2 items means more than 2 words, so to say. Comma after each item except last. You will use comma after one item. After each item means after one item. Okay. When we use more than 2 items, 3 or 4 or 5 items, we use comma after each item. All right. Except last. Except in the last word or item, there will be no comma. Example here, I am still trying to decide whether to buy. See, bicycle is one item, phone is another item, and laptop is another item. So before the last item, see, except last, before the last item, we don't use any comma. Number 3, independent clause, comma, independent clause means when we use meaningful sentences, between that we will put comma and again another meaningful sentence. See here, I went to the store. Where did you go? I went to the store. See, it is a meaningful sentence. So, but we use the conjunction but to join these 2 sentences. Okay, I forgot to bring my shopping list. See here, this comma right after the independent clause. See, this is the independent clause. I used a comma and followed by another independent clause. Okay. Number 4, dependent clause, comma, independent clause. So here we use incomplete sentence, also to say a sentence which has no sense. Okay, say here, I'll give an example. After Grace gets home from school. See, after Grace gets home from school, it is incomplete sentence. We don't know what Grace is going to do after she comes back from home. See, after Grace gets home from school, this is dependent clause because the sentence is incomplete. All right. We put comma, then independent clause means sentence that has meaningful sense. See here, she likes to watch TV for an hour. See, she likes to watch TV for an hour. Between this dependent and independent, we use what? Comma. Next, dependent clause and dependent clause. Between these incomplete sentences, or say words that has no meaning, we don't use comma. Right here, both are dependent clause. So when we join these two dependent clause and dependent clause, we don't use comma. See here, these are the example. This is the example of dependent clause. See, Grace likes to watch TV for an hour. See, Grace likes to watch TV for an hour after she gets home from school. So here, when we connect dependent clause and dependent clause, we remove the what? Comma. Comma is not needed. Okay. Number 5. Independent clause, semicolon, however, or therefore. Okay, either of these we use, comma, independent clause. Okay, here, example, Jacob loves living in India. See, after independent clause, I use what? Semicolon. However, either of these, however or therefore, I use however. His brother hates the traffic, means his brother hates the traffic rules. All right. Next is independent clause. Stop. However, this is in capital. After stop, we use capital letter. However, or therefore, comma, independent clause. Example, Jacob loves living in India. See, this is a complete sentence. Jacob loves living in India. Full stop. However, I started in what? Capital letter. However, comma, his brother hates the traffic. Okay, that's all for today. Students, I hope you have understood something from this lesson. Try to watch again and again so that you will understand the topic thoroughly. Thank you.